Their morals are questionable, but that doesn't stop them from being awesome. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 animated anti-heroes.
And I'm gonna need you to put them way up inside your butthole, Morty.
In my butt?
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at animated characters that sit in a morally gray area compared to the regular heroes and villains of their series. We're limiting our choices to Western animation only, so no anime to be found here, as we've already got a list for that.
It's grown-up stuff, you wouldn't understand.
Number 10, Damian Wayne, son of Batman.
Here is your legacy, Damian. Here is your inheritance.
Like father, like son. Or maybe not quite. Many have taken up the mantle of the Boy Wonder, and it's fair to say that each has acted as a son to Bruce Wayne. Well, this one actually is.
Smaller than I imagined. Very efficient, though.
Damian comes from quite the parentage. His mother's own father is the world's greatest criminal, and his father is, of course, the world's greatest detective.
I'm my father's son, too. I'm Robin.
This incarnation of Robin was born to be a living weapon, and he certainly lives up to his heritage. Although he originally has no qualms with killing, spending time with his Dark Knight dad brings about an internal conflict for Damian, and he must consider which path he should choose.
You've never felt vengeful?
Every day. You have to keep your center, Damian.
Number 9, Axe Cop, Axe Cop.
Time for Axe Cop to go on a night mission.
He's a cop who wields an axe. That's pretty much all you need to know. Based on the wonderfully surreal ideas of a 5-year-old boy, the narrative of this show follows the titular Axe Cop and his team of companions, including Flute Cop and Sakurang, as they battle such threats as dinosaurs, space zombies, and the infamous Hell Chicken.
It's time to summon the Hell Chicken zombie apocalypse.
You might be wondering how this pinnacle of righteousness could possibly be considered an anti-hero. Well, there was that time he went to prison and chopped off the heads of the other inmates. He's also quite the ladies' man, it seems, to the displeasure of his wonderful wife, Abraham Lincoln. So, while he is a police officer, he's got his downsides, that's for sure.
Axe Cop, will you help me?
Only if you tell me how you think I'd look with a mohawk and a handlebar mustache.
Number 8, Stan Pine's Gravity Falls.
It was worth it!
We've all got family members who've turned a little sour with age, but chances are none of them is quite like Mabel and Dipper's grunkle Stan. He's sour, cheap, and has an interdimensional portal in his basement.
What the heck was that for?
This was an insanely risky move, restarting the portal.
He spends the majority of his life as a con man, selling poorly made products. It's not until his great-nephew and great-niece get involved in his life and discover his dirty secret that we start to see the regretful man inside.
I'm so sorry I didn't believe you.
That's okay, kid. I probably wouldn't have believed me either.
Yeah, he's a cranky old bastard, but you still love him for it.
Guess I was good for something after all.
Number 7, Dr. Thaddeus Rusty Venture, the Venture Brothers.
I'm just imagining what the Super Science Workers Union is going to say when they get a load of the scabs. They've been on strike for like 2 years.
He's a scientist with such an amazing intellect that it could shake the very foundations of the modern world, if he bothered to apply himself. With a tendency to wallow in his own self-pity since he's been dwarfed in life by his genius father, Rusty Venture is definitely not the happiest of doctors. And his exhaustive awareness of all things supervillain makes it almost seem like he's playing the part of one. Even with such a self-absorbed personality, he's shown to care deeply for his sons, no matter how crazy their lives get.
Hello, son. Say, is that where my top-secret experimental hover boots have gotten to?
Since said craziness means they have an arch-enemy, and his oddly deep-voiced girlfriend constantly gunning for them.
You can't just send my moppets out to arch your former enemy.
We have to give the man props.
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just enjoying the super freedom of space travel.
Number 6, Zuko, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I know my own destiny, Uncle.
Now this is how you do a character arc. Starting off as nothing more than a banished prince seeking to reclaim his honor, Zuko hunted the Avatar all over the world and caused the hero heaps of trouble. However, his perception slowly began to change as he saw how poisonous his homeland and pride really were.
No, I'm tired of running. It's time I faced Azula.
Oh, sure, he may have betrayed both the good guys and the bad guys on multiple occasions, but what started off as a wounded child filled with rage eventually became a champion for the downtrodden. By the end of the series, we are all hailing to the king. We mean Fire Lord.
All hail Fire Lord Zuko!
Number 5. Bender Bending Rodríguez, Futurama.
Boo-hoo!
We all know that deep down, Bender truly values the friendships he's built with Fry and the rest of the Planet Express crew. But that still doesn't stop him from being a rude, violent, alcoholic, and self-centered robot that once traded his own son for an undead army when no one was paying him enough attention.
Here you go.
And if you don't agree with his actions, you can just bite his shiny metal ass, as Bender so eloquently puts it.
The human race can bite my shiny metal ass!
Again, deep down, we all know that Bender Rodríguez is a great guy, and that's why he's an anti-hero and not a straight-up villain. Oh, unless you take his last beer. Then you're going down hard.
Hey, that's my last beer, you bastard! I'll kill you!
Number 4. Shrek, the Shrek franchise.
What kind of knight are you?
One of a kind.
You all know the classic tale. Charming hero saves the damsel in distress and slays the monster so everyone can live happily ever after. Well, say hello to the ogre who turned the fairy tales on their head. While originally content with spending his days swimming in mud and scaring the hell out of villagers, Shrek is forced into the role of hero when the charming prince, who is something of a jerk, enlists him for a doomed adventure to retrieve his bride-to-be. In the end, Shrek falls in love with the damsel, who is by no means in distress, and together, they teach everyone that it's important not to judge a book by its cover, or in this case, not to judge an ogre by what's on the outside.
I love you.
Really?
Really, really.
Number 3. Sterling Archer, Archer.
I'm Sterling Archer. You may remember me from the strip club.
Remember how James Bond could be a bit of an ass? Well, imagine that ramped up to 11, and you might be able to come close to how much of an ego this American secret agent has.
Bloody Mary, full of vodka, blessed are you among cocktails.
His day-to-day needs pretty much extend to booze, babes, and bullets, sometimes all at once.
Instead of doing my job, I was here, half drunk and having amazing sex.
While he can be the king of all jerks at times, he still takes his world-saving job very seriously. Besides, ever since he became a father, he's shown that he's capable of loyalty and love. Not to mention, he will beat the crap out of anyone who threatens his family.
Imagine as I literally beat you to death. Hang on. Yeah, literally.
Number 2. Wreck-It Ralph, Wreck-It Ralph.
We'll never be good, and that's not bad.
Just because he's a villain doesn't mean he's all bad, right? As the antagonist of his respective video game, Ralph is loathed by the rest of the characters, despite the fact that he's an okay guy.
I don't want to be the bad guy anymore.
In a desperate bid to earn everyone's favor, he leaves his post and embarks on an epic adventure across the gaming multiverse in order to win the one thing that will earn him their respect: a medal.
Oh, I am gonna win a medal. The shiniest medal this place has ever seen.
Along the way, Ralph learns that while some may be born a villain, the choice to become a better person is always in the hands of the individual, even if all those hands are good for is wrecking stuff.
Get me out of this cupcake, I'll get my medal, and I'll be out of your way.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
You 3 knew I was in there, and you didn't do anything.
Mostly involves not dying.
I like that plan.
Number 1. Rick Sanchez, Rick and Morty.
Keep shooting, Morty! You have no idea what prison is like here!
The brief glimpses where we get to see this genius scientist expressing concern for other life forms, alien or human, as well as compassion for his own grandson, are something to treasure. Because the rest of the time, you could happily label Rick as a sociopath.
What happened back there?
Why don't you ask the smartest people in the universe, Jerry? Oh yeah, you can't. They blew up.
Admittedly selfish in his mad scientific pursuits, he's not above using Morty in any way possible to ensure his experiments are a success.
What have you done to me, Morty?
Also, should you ever somehow end up betraying or insulting this alcoholic pessimist, we suggest you run. because he has quite the impressive body count under his belt as well.
I guess I did the butler, ha-ha!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.